Age of Calamity is upon us, with the advent of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and the future that is promised of Breath of the Wild 2, the story of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has effectively become a trilogy, with Age of Calamity being set to tell us the full story of the Great War, the Great Calamity that happened 100 years before the events of Breath of the Wild. We are set to learn many unknown truths, indeed, with the reveal of an ominous new villain that is set to plague Hyrule and to aid the Yiga clan. A theory crept into my mind from something that we've seen time and time again with the Zelda series that can help reveal part of the identity of this individual and their endgame, and that they were truly responsible for the Calamity. What's up guys, HMK here once again with another Zelda Breath of the Wild trilogy theory. This is gonna be a wild one, a Breath of the Wild one. So if you're ready, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Strap on in for the safety of hype. Let's dive directly into the noise. Now, a big chunk of this theory relies on the notion that this character is indeed the mysterious fortune teller that warned the king and kingdom of Hyrule of the impending threat of Calamity Ganon. I honestly believe that this person could be the fortune teller. I mean, look what they're holding. I mean, that could be their crystal ball. There's various conflicting reports on the origins and identity of the fortune teller, even in official media, so we really don't know who it could have been. With that being said, I get a very specific vibe from this character that I've seen before in The Legend of Zelda. And I'm talking about Ganon from A Link to the Past. And as we all know with the story of Ganon, this mysterious wizard got close to the royal family and the king of Hyrule by helping out Hyrule, but it turns out he was an offshoot / alter ego of Ganon. And once he got to a specific point in power within the royal family, he eliminated the king of Hyrule and enacted a plan that will result in the return of Ganon. Even with the Legend of Ganon, it has happened multiple times within the Legend of Zelda series where a foe would wear the mask of an ally, get close to the royal family, and start up a plan to overthrow the monarchy and spell doom for the kingdom of Hyrule. We've seen that with Ganondorf in Ocarina of Time and with Chancellor Cole in Spirit Tracks. So if we're going by that track record, it could be possible that this individual, if they are indeed the fortune teller, they probably warned the royal family of the impending calamity in order to get close enough to the family to get a certain piece of information. What would that information be? I'll tell you, my friends. The location of Ganondorf's body. That's right, as this character is obviously adorned with both Gerudo symbolism and motifs of the Calamity. So it's pretty obvious that this person is trying to aid the Calamity Ganon in some way, shape, or form. But it could be possible that this person is trying to aid the Calamity Ganondorf, as marked with the Gerudo symbols. As we surmise what happens in the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, we could surmise that the location of Ganondorf's body is deep below Hyrule Castle, which would make sense and give a reason to why the fortune teller will want to get close to the royal family to even step into the castle. With this warning, the royal family would be in a frenzy. The kingdom of Hyrule will constantly try to get ready for this calamity. There will be so much going on, and amidst all that confusion, the fortune teller would have enough time to get the information that they need and would have the cover up in order to go and locate Ganondorf's body. And in that respect, this could literally be the catalyst on what caused the calamity. Because think about it for a second. Now, although the fortune teller did prophesize on the great calamity happening, a gap of 10,000 years between what we know as a previous calamity and this great calamity seems like a very long time, between incarnations of evil and Ganon to say specifically. So it seems to me that whatever happened during the 10,000 year prior calamity, at the end they did something that had the Calamity Ganon or Ganondorf or the corpse, which would cause the calamity, down-packed, sealed tightly, everything ready to go. So much so that Hyrule has enjoyed an extended period of peace unlike anything we've seen in the Zelda series before this, which would give an extraordinarily huge reason for this fortune teller to go and find the body and continue what they may believe as Ganon's work, which would lead into them finding the body and literally jump-starting the calamity by cracking that bad boy open, allowing the malice to seep out and create the Great Calamity. And honestly, that would explain why, although they were preparing for the Great Calamity, it happened at a point in time where the Kingdom of Hyrule wasn't truly ready for the Great Calamity. It's quite possible that the fortune teller acted on a pristine moment of opportunity when everyone else was trying to do other stuff, such as Zelda going up to Mount Lanayru. So it was at that moment that this guy decided to start the Calamity. Now, here's the thing that's kind of funky with me. The fact that this individual is dressed in a cloak or robes or something mysteriously hooded. Could it be possible that this individual could have some sort of connection, or in fact be the entity presented in the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer? The one with the mysterious silhouette that's aiming to clutch the heart of Ganondorf. It could be possible that this silhouette is an interpretation of what happened when the fortune teller helped start the Great Calamity. And going off that tangent, perhaps it would explain the mystery of this arm. Perhaps this hand, this arm, was an incantation, a spell, or even part of the original fortune teller when they started the Great Calamity by reaching into the core of Ganondorf. But perhaps that wasn't the only effect. Perhaps that this entity also has another purpose in helping revitalize Ganondorf. With not only starting the Great Calamity 100 years before the events of Breath of the Wild, this could be the fortune teller's answer to the Shrine of Resurrection. That this seal, this green power, needed 100 years in order to revive and revitalize Ganondorf. And that the Great Calamity was a welcome and necessary byproduct of this. As Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is going to be extremely important to the story of Breath of the Wild, we have to understand that it might be incredibly important to Breath of the Wild 2, even setting up the events that lead to the discovery and the overall knowledge of Ganondorf within that point in time, given that this mysterious individual is adorned with calamity and Gerudo symbolism. And if this character is truly the fortune teller that we hear so much about in Breath of the Wild, then it will harken back to what has happened time and time again with the royal family allowing foes to be welcomed as allies to only be stabbed in the back later on. Whatever it may be, this character's endgame is definitely tied to that of the Great Calamity, Calamity Ganon, and Ganondorf. And since we know where Ganondorf is thanks to Breath of the Wild 2's trailer, the pieces all fall into place. So what do you think? I definitely believe that this individual was the one responsible for the Great Calamity happening when it did during Breath of the Wild, or I should say 100 years before the events of Breath of the Wild and during Age of Calamity. Leave what you think in the comment section below along with your theories and thoughts. Be sure to like, favorite, share, and most importantly subscribe to HMK for more Zelda content and theories every week. Big thanks to my Patreon supporters for helping make this video happen. If you want to find out how you can support HMK for just $1 a month, check out the information in the description box below. Alright guys, until the next video, until the next revelation from Age of Calamity, this has been HMK, and I'll check you guys later.